His name is Kale, mid-rank. No special class, no flashy skill. The kind of hunter whose name the guild secretary has to look up before writing it on. A mission roster. That is what they see. 'Tis all they ever bother to see. The truth is different. Kale notices things. He notices the way the guild master Aldrin smiles a half-second too late when good news arrives. He notices that 3 of the guild's platinum rank hunters always return from solo runs with identical scrapes on their left forearms. The kinda dungeon wire trap leaves. He notices that the intake records for Abyss 9, the tower's 9th sublevel, restricted, S-rank, officially closed for recalibration, have been quietly altered, the last 3 expedition entries erased. He writes it down. Every observation, every discrepancy, every date. He seals it in an envelope addressed to the Hunter's Oversight Bureau and hands it to the guild's courier on a Tuesday morning. The courier's name is Darren. Darren is on Aldrin's payroll. The letter never leaves the building. On Thursday, Kale is assigned to a priority recalibration sweep of Abyss 9. Solo, no support, equipment stipend, a mid-grade lantern and 2 mana potions. Standard for a mid-rank sweep, Aldrin tells him. Routine. Kale knows it isn't routine. He goes anyway. Because what else does a man do when the trap is already set, and the only exit is through? He makes it to the 9th sublevel's core chamber before the boss stirs. Not because he's strong enough to fight it. He isn't. But because he mapped this floor 6 months ago during a group run, memorized every corridor, every side vent, every half-collapsed arch. He lasts 4 minutes longer than Aldrin's math predicted. Then the boss's claw finds him, and the lantern goes dark, and Kale lies on the cold stone floor of Abyss 9 with the taste of copper in his mouth and a thought he cannot stop. The letter never arrived. System notice, last will protocol activated condition, death in betrayal, truth suppressed, message undelivered, rare hidden class detected, chronicle, unlock rate, 0 all witnessed, truths logged, all suppressed records preserved. Regression, authorize, you will return, the letter will be delivered. The light that fills the chamber is not gold. It is not the electric blue of a standard system awakening. It is the pale, cold white of paper held up to a candle, translucent, a little fragile-looking, and absolutely, quietly devastating. Then everything resets. Kale opens his eyes on a Tuesday morning. He is standing in the guild's main hall. The mission board is fresh. The courier Darren is crossing toward the mailroom, an envelope in his hand. Kale's envelope, the one with every date and every discrepancy, and every quiet proof he spent 3 months assembling. He doesn't try to intercept it. He already knows what Darren will do with it. He just watches, and he smiles, small and cold, because this time, Kale doesn't need that letter to arrive. This time, he is the letter. The Chronicle class is not a combat class. Not exactly. Every truth Kale witnessed and could not speak, every suppressed record, every falsified log, every lie told inside a room he stood in, crystallizes into what the system calls chronicle blades. Manifested text, razor-edged, burning with cold light, that slices through illusions, breaks enchanted contracts, and strips defensive buffs built on deception. The more a target has lied, the deeper a chronicle blade cuts. Aldrin, who has been lying since before Kale ever joined the guild, is going to feel every single word. But Kale is patient. He spent 3 months gathering proof the first time. He does not intend to waste the second. Week 1, he rejoins the standard rotation, same mid-rank badge, same unremarkable face. He runs dungeons, banks experience, and lets the Chronicle class grow in silence. Every time a guild officer falsifies a report in a room he passes, and it happens often, because men like Aldrin stop being careful after they think a problem is dead. A new blade forms in the invisible arsenal only he can feel. Week 3, he clears a B-rank dungeon alone in 11 minutes. The record for that floor was 42. He files the completion form, marks it standard, and walks out. No announcements, no victory stance. The guild's ranking system quietly bumps him to High B. Nobody pays attention to High B. Week 6, one of the platinum rank hunters, a man named Sav, approaches him after a briefing and tells him to slow down. "You're making the rotation numbers look weird," Sav says. He means, "You're making us look bad." He has the tone of a man who has never once been questioned. Kale looks at him for a long moment, then says quietly, "Your wire trap scar is fresh. Abyss 9 is still closed. You want to talk about weird numbers?" Sav's face goes the color of old ash. He does not follow. The Chronicle blades multiply. Week 9. KL requests a meeting with the guild's second-tier review board, not Aldrin's floor, the independent one, the one that still technically answers to the bureau. He brings no paper. He brings no recordings. He simply walks into the room, opens his palm and calls 3 chronicle blades from the air. Each one is a page, cold white light, text burning along each edge. The first is the original intake log for Abyss 9, the unaltered version, the one Aldrin had Darren delete. The Chronicle class does not fabricate, it retrieves. It pulls the truth from the moment Kale witnessed it and renders it permanent, tangible, irrefutable. The second is the courier exchange. Darren receiving Kale's letter, Aldrin receiving it an hour later, Aldrin feeding to a mana flame in his office while Kale was still alive and waiting for a confirmation that would never come. The third is the wiretrap floor schematic for Abyss 9's 9th sublevel, annotated in Aldrin's handwriting, with Kale's name written in the margin beside the phrase, disposal, confirmed. The review board is very quiet. It does not stay quiet for long. By the end of week 10, the Bureau has frozen guild operations and placed Aldrin under investigation. By the end of week 11, Sov and the 2 other platinum rank hunters are stripped of rank pending tribunal. The guild's secretary, the one who always had to look up Kale's name, finds him in the hall and tells him, voice low and a little stunned, that the platinum rank vacancy, board OP, is OP doesn't apply. That's not the point. On the final day, the tribunal convenes in the guild's great chamber. Aldrin arrives in a pressed coat, confident, flanked by 2 lawyers who specialize in contract law technicalities. He has spent 11 years building a paper fortress, every deal sealed under enchanted agreement, every wrongdoing buried under contractual clauses that tie the tongues of witnesses. Kale walks in alone. Aldrin sees him and goes still. Because Kale shouldn't be alive, Aldrin watched the Abyss 9 completion log come in blank. No survivor, no badge retrieved. And yet here is Kale, standing in the center of the chamber floor, mid-rank badge still on his chest, expression carrying the specific calm of a man who has already seen this ending and found it satisfying. You're dead, Aldrin says. The letter arrived, Kale says. He opens both hands. Chronicle blades fill the chamber, dozens of them, a constellation of cold white pages, everyone blazing with dates and names and records that Aldrin spent years burying. They don't slash, they don't burn. They simply hang in the air, visible to every person in the room, each one a truth that no enchanted contract can seal, because the Chronicle class doesn't operate under guild law. It operates under something older, the system's own record, the one that activates when a man dies with the truth still in his chest. Aldrin's contract fortress shatters. Clause by clause, the Chronicle blades cut through every sealed agreement, every gag order, every enchanted confidentiality binding his victim's testimony. The lawyers reach for objections and find nothing to hold. The witnesses who had been silent for years begin to speak, one after another, because Kale's blades broke the locks. When it is over, the chamber is quiet in a different way than before. Not the quiet of men who have nothing to say, the quiet of men who have just watched the walls come down. Aldrin is escorted out. He is placed in a contract prison, the tribunal's preferred sentence for guild masters who weaponized enchanted agreements, sealed inside the very type of binding he used against others. He will spend the next decade unable to speak, unable to issue orders, unable to conduct a single transaction, while every victim he silenced is free to testify. Kale watches him go. Then he turns, crosses the chamber, and walks out into the open air of the Hunter District. The Chronicle blades dissolve behind him, their work done, their truths now permanently on record. The invisible arsenal is quiet. He does not feel light exactly. He feels finished. Somewhere in the Bureau's evidence archive, a copy of his original letter sits in a sealed file, retrieved by the Chronicle class on the night of, his regression preserved in cold white light, every word intact. The last letter that never arrived. It arrived.